Okay, let's allow 5-10 seconds to everyone to connect.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here and a real pleasure to talk about, I think, one of the most important issues today, I'd say in the business world. We're talking today about the retail. And what we'll try to see today is two things. One is a little bit to explore what is happening today in the retail sector. And the other is to really get a small taste of the Israeli companies which deal in this area. If I'm sure everyone around the world read about the current situation in the retail sector. We're talking about many shops that are closing, a lot of, I would say it's really an important moment in this area. And I think what we're doing today with technologies and with the companies is very, very interesting. We have today online retailers from all around Europe. I myself, I'm the head of the office in Milan, the head of the Israel's economic mission to Italy. And online you have also all the other offices of Israel, the economic missions all around Europe. We are doing here it in three phases, I would call it. One is we are having this seminar. I'm just going to have a little taste of what we have in Israel. Later on, you can go into our event, which will include many more companies that you can meet and discuss ideas. But what I want you to remember from this day, and what's most important, is to engage with the offices, our economic offices around the world, so we can actually tailor the solutions that there are in Israel to the needs, the special needs of each one of the participants in this webinar and participant in our event. First, today, we have Massimo Volpe, which is a friend, and I think he has a very good position to give us insight on what's happening today. You know, in Israel, we were already talking about retail solutions for the last 7-6 years. But I think in the COVID time, we got to fast forward. And things are happening much faster. And it will be very interesting to hear your insight as you are head of an accelerator for retail companies. You are part of the international organizations related to retail. So your insight could be very interesting, and also because you already know quite a few Israeli companies, so you can put it all together, this picture. So please give us your ideas and your presentation for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Now I definitely feel the pressure on that. I feel the pressure on doing this. So what I have today is a tough job because they asked me to tell you what's going to be the future of retail. So let's see if I can give you at least some insights of that. And from that, you can recognize something that you've already seen or something that you see is coming. I will show you my presentation and I'll go straight away from there. Okay, I think you all see that. So in the next 10-15 minutes, I try to collect some of the trends that we see coming or that are already here. But first of all, let me start from one thing that we keep seeing, and is stay as a part of the retail sector. Is this the new normal? This is the first question. We all talk about that. We all talk about the fact that we live in a new normal and a new world. what we actually see is that a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting evolutions that are happening now are not just happening now, but are the consequences of something that has started a long time ago, even years ago. And this is from many different perspectives. I give you just one example, just to tell you that we all familiar with this. We all familiar with the fact that we have lines outside the stores, and all retailers are trying to deal with that and try to understand how to manage the queue outside the stores. But I mean, when I saw that the first time, that reminded me to something that I already seen in the past. So for who doesn't recognize that, this is an Abercrombie Fitch store. And they became quite famous with managing the line outside the store. If you remember, I mean, there was, every one of us had at least one time an experience of entering in an Abercrombie store and discovering that actually inside the store, there were just few customers, but most of them, they were outside. So what I mean with that is that sometimes in order to manage this new world, we just need to pick tests that have been already made in the past, or opportunities that have been already used in the past. But obviously, one of the major opportunities, one of the major trends that we see today is the fact that today we have to manage what we call the known places. I take this sentence from Marc Augier, but I mean, the known places are great opportunities to engage and to create a relationship that can impulse purchasing in this omni-channel, in your omni-channel strategy. And obviously, one of the best places for this is the parking space. Parking space in the stores, parking space in the shopping malls is something that for most of the always been seen as just a slot for cars. But actually, that is becoming the first touch point, a perfect info point, and often the pickup point in an omni-channel retailer. So you see, areas that were not part of the retail experience, they are becoming quite essential, quite central in the strategy. Together with parking space, obviously, we are seeing the evolution of the in-store situation, and we see now that the end, what we can say, the end of cashiers, at least for some categories. It is not anymore just Amazon Go, because that has been for a long time, but we're talking about different retailers that are testing this initiative. They're testing this new way of shopping that helps you really to manage and optimize the time that your customers spend in the store. But then obviously we need to talk even about online stores. One of the best in class in these activities has been especially in the last few months, Nike. Nike has created a lot of engaging contents in order to drive the customers to store. No direct selling, but selling through contents like classes, yoga classes, workout classes, one-to-one session with personal trainers, or activities that have the double opportunities to drive you to the online store and to create a perfect relationship and a loyal customer. But obviously, we need to talk even about BOPIS, buy online and pick up a store. This is something that we already see, and it's just growing very much now with this new situation. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity to mix the online and offline for two reasons. One is because you optimize the store that you have at the physical place for yourself or in concession to the third parties. And second, because you can solve the issues about the last mile when you have to deliver. That is always the most expensive. But then another trend that we see growing very much is the temporary shop. Today, if you are a retailer, you cannot be in business if you don't test even this option. You need to try some temporary opportunities. You need to have someone that at least can manage that part, or you need to have information about how it works. I picked one example from London. This was Tesco that opened up a temporary grocery store next to the NHS hospital in London. There was a social opportunity to help the community, but at the same time, a very much business opportunity. So and this is how to stay flexible. And flexibility is definitely something that we have to keep in our strategies. Then we talk about even the direct to consumers. Direct to consumers is something that gives an opportunity to the producers to become retailers. Online retailers, they can sell directly to the customers. It's something that is growing, been growing for a long time. And with the lockdown, with all the people stuck home, it boomed even more. But direct to consumer can be quite expensive because, I mean, you need to engage customers online. And to acquire customers online, sometimes it's more expensive than acquire them physically. So you need first to invent a different way in a crowded world like this. And one example is, for example, is Goop. Goop, I don't know if you know that Goop has been founded by Gwyneth Paltrow, is one of the DTC brands that made very well in engaging customers through their events. So what they do, for example, at the end of this week, they have a Goop Health. This is one of the many events that they do for the customers, for what they call the community. What's the opportunity of that? You engage them, they give them the opportunity to talk with the experts, to talk about the products, and even to have conversation directly with the founder. This is an amazing way to create the loyalty and to create shopping opportunities later on. But if you think that this is something that belongs only to cosmetics, I mean, you're wrong, because even big brands are going in that direction, expanding their strategy. Heinz and PepsiCo, they both have opened their own direct-to-consumer store, and now you can buy the products directly from their website. Obviously, it's in a testing mode, and they don't pretend to switch entirely that, but it's something that is giving them some very good insights about the switching, how the shopping behavior is switching. But with them, as I said, I mean, acquiring customers online can become quite expensive. So whenever you do things online, you always have to remember that in your journey, sooner or later, you need to go physical. And when you need to go physical, you need a spot, you need a place where to sell your stuff. Here is where I see the evolution of the department stores. Department stores has been for a long, long time in a bad shape, in a bad situation. They're struggling. It's not just the COVID that gave them this bad way where they are now, the bad position. So they needed to reinvent themselves. And I think that these two examples that are in New York, they made pretty good. One is Showfields and another one is Neighborhood Goods. What they do, they have created department stores for DTC. Basically, if you are a direct-to-consumer brand, you need a physical space, but you don't have the strength, or you just don't have the budget to go stand alone, you can rent a space in their place, and they help you with all of the facility to sell directly, to sell to your customers, to create your customer engagement. Beside giving them this physical opportunity, when the moment that you choose one department store instead of the other, you join a community. So the new department stores are becoming community stores. And then another option is obviously for the online retailers, what are pure players that they want to go physical in a different way. One interesting example is Matches Fashions that has created, this is in London, that they have created the showrooms. They have a couple of showrooms. What the difference, what is the peculiarity of that? Is that it's not a store, you don't go there to buy, but you click online, you select your wish list, and then you book your appointment, you go there to the showroom, they show you all of the products that you have selected, and then you decide what to buy. What solved this opportunity? Again, it helps you to manage very well the problem that we have today, to do not have too many people in the store. So managing this, managing your customers. And the second thing is that he helps a lot to manage the returns problem, because whenever you buy online, you might don't like the stuff that you receive, and then you return back. And this is an issue for so many online retailers. They can go up to 30–40% of the business. No, not quite a small number. But then we have the biggest thing today. We all see what is happening, how crazy it's becoming, and I took this from the economy. It's the all delivery economy. This is something that we see. We have players that have been doing this for a long time. We know that for most of them, we still try to figure out how to be profitable, but it's something that nobody can really avoid today. Every retailer needs to be in this arena or need to deal with this arena. And we see today, even a player that we never thought that would have been part of this circle decided to jump in and to see what is happening. And this is Google. So we see, together with players like Uber Eats or DoorDash, now we have even Google that you can order directly from there. And at the same time, we have guys like DoorDash that were very much focused on the food service delivery. They open up even opportunities for grocery stores. So the delivery business is becoming quite a central thing for every strategy. And with the delivery business, we cannot forget the subscription model. Subscription model that in this specific case is managed by the biggest guys in the pod. I mean, we already know how good is Amazon Prime, how they are expanding, how many millions of customers they are acquired just thanks to this strategy. But very recently, even Walmart decided to jump on this jump on this opportunity, and they have just delivered their own subscription model. So with the $98 per year, you can have unlimited deliveries. Again, this is something that also, because of these guys are in this circle, is stay for long. So it's something that we cannot just keep in the corner and not thinking about that. Go ahead. Another big trend that we see, even if it's still a niche, but it's growing a lot, is the voice commerce. Why we are predicting the voice commerce will become a big part of our shopping experience? Just because it's easier. It's much easier to do shopping with voice than typing on your phone, typing on your keyboard, and don't forget that the moment that you start the conversation with your smart speaker, I mean, as a human being, we tend to forget that this is not human. So we start to treat it as a person. But that gives a higher level of trust with this thing than any laptop or any phone. Why we think that is growing? Even because the way that you can shop. So Amazon just opened up the new Amazon Fresh in LA, and you see Alexa is part of the journey. You can go to ask Alexa everything. You can go shop in there. So you can shop in store with your smart speaker, but you can shop even while you're driving. I mean, even in a Mercedes today, you can shop for that. You have the smart speaker, so you can drive for that. So the journey is becoming a journey that is not just a drive to store, but it's an everywhere shopping journey. Again, and in this new world, I mean, more and more we see that the physical space are becoming hybrid retail. Hybrid retail because the stores are changing, the size are changing the way they are split. And more we see stores plus dark stores, the stores plus micro warehouse. They all have help with the delivery, the picking and the delivery. So one of the takeaway that I want to give you today is that is this new retail or old retail? So there is definitely a new world. Something shocking is happening in our world. But that doesn't mean that all of the tested, all of the things that we had developed in the past has to be thrown away. Actually, it's a continued evolution, especially in this fantastic sector that where every day there is something new, that every day there is a new opportunity. I give you some example coming from the past that I'm predicting that will stay for a long time. One is the B2B2C model. The best in class on this is beta. What means B2B2C is that you sell product to the customers as a retailer and you sell data to the producers. So you becoming a seller of product and data. This is something that is very easy to predict that will stay. It will become an important part on for every retailer. Data and big data are the new currency. We all know that. Another example from the past is when you start from digital, you go physical. Warby Parker was digital, was just digital, and then when they decided to go physical, they became very much successful. And they discover, as I said before, that engaging customers in the physical space is much easier and it's much stronger. Another coming from the past is Bonobos. I think that we all know that. This is coming from 2014, when they started, when they were the first one started a store that wasn't actually a store, but was a showroom. It's still very actual. When you go in a Bonobo store, you go there, you pick your stuff, you buy, you choose, you buy, and you leave without bags because they deliver the bags home. So in this case, it's an opportunity for them to have less inventory and to manage smaller stores. Going on, but coming from the present, we have some other interesting example. One is the virtual flagship of Lancôme that just launched in Asia. This is a very much store experience, but in the virtual world. So what they are testing is that if you can create that same experience that you have in the physical space, but with many more features. What you can do there, you can speak with an expert, you can even have conversation with celebrities that have been invited to be part of the store. You can even take pictures with them. So it's much more engaging. So they are trying to combine the best of the two worlds together. Or another interesting example is Nike Rise. We talk about a type of store that is what we call all integrated. It's a physical flagship that they just opened in China. But in order to buy stuff, in order to have the discounts, in order to see the information, you need to open the Nike app. So the best interaction in the store comes with the Nike app. So you need to be online and in a physical place at the same time. And then we have other trends that have always been there. They are growing in their niches. This is the second hand and the rent. And some examples coming mainly from US, Real, See You Tomorrow. This is a division that Nostrum has developed, a concept that Nostrum has developed in order to find a solution to the issue of the returns. We have Trade Up, that says again at second hand, that just made a partnership with Walmart. So something that we're gonna see even in the future. Or we had the Rent the Runway, that the rent your clothes. I would love to tell you more about that, but I don't have more time, so we go quickly. So, and finally, last but not least, the live streaming stores. This is something that became a major thing during the lockdown. It stayed there, it stayed here, and it will stay here for a long time. It will is already part of any retailer strategy. Live streaming in store, one-to-many, and live streaming in store, one-to-one from the sales assistant. So you can go a direct relationship with your customer from the store. So in the end, the final takeaway is that in this new world, I mean, retail is not dead. Retail is very alive. It's just evolving. So the best advice they can give you is just to stay flexible and to try to stay as much as you can adaptable to what's going on and what will happen in the future. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. It's really insightful, and I always like your point of view. And I think Massimo sits in the board of NRF and has a lot of activity in his retail hub. So I think it comes out in the presentation you just gave. So thank you very much for joining us here and giving us this insight. We will move straight away to the Israeli companies which are attending this webinar today. And one of the topics that was shared was about the ability to handle what's happening in the store and make this activity more powerful. So we have one company that made the best friend for the store manager, and that's My Store E. So Idan, please introduce yourself and give us a couple of minutes about that.
Sure. Hi, thank you very much. I'm super excited to be here. And my name is Idan, and I'm the co-founder of My Story. And our product, the one that I'm about to present, is Story. So let me share my deck. Okay, what do we all see? I just have, I think, Yoni, everybody, you see they just too much to handle manually?
We can see and hear.
The slide, okay, thank you. So, let me start. So as you can see, Carolina is a district manager and Michelle is a store manager. And as you can see, both of them have too much on their mind in a single day. From always running after the store managers to make sure that they complete the tasks they need to the store manager that always need to remember what he needs to do. And this is before we even start talking about what they must do. And this is dealing with their data. Constantly think how they should increase the sales and improve store performance. So ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, it's just too much to handle manually, especially when you are managing your stores using email or WhatsApp. This is why we developed an algorithm that's called Story. This algorithm actually mimics the work of retail managers. We implement this algorithm in a task management tool explicitly designed for retailers, and the outcome is fantastic. The headquarters need just to set the right rules and manage an unlimited number of stores and employees remotely and automatically. Centralize all communication, tasks, and insights into one personalized platform, and guide all managers to excellence. So as you can see in the slide, Story is actually dealing with the 4 rooms of the retail heart. It's advanced analytics with actionable insights directly to the palm of their hands. It's a data-driven planogram and inventory management to guarantee that the store is always set and ready to meet customers' expectations. And our unique IP, detecting, forecasting, and fixing incidents that impact revenues on a store level. And of course, train and empower the store team, making sure that they are always set with the most relevant set of recommendations. So let's see Story in action. This is how Michelle sees the store, and this is how Story sees it. Let's try and look at 10 products in 10 cities and the sales volume of every product. And as you can probably imagine, it's very hard to find a pattern with human eyes. So let Story do the work. Using our pattern recognition abilities, we find stores that share behavior. Then, Story identify a slow mover in a specific store and automatically convert it into a task. Deliver the task to the store manager, who shares feedback with Story to keep on learning. Now, let's go back to Michelle. So Michelle can always find her bestsellers at the top, know what story the chain store is always telling. She can find relevant tasks and insights in her newsfeed. She can always follow her goals and sales, the store performance. She can see her sweet spots, weaknesses, and get personalized insights derived from her own data to help her improve store performance. For example, if a category is just dropped, she will see the items she needs to focus on to increase its performance. If the basket size is down, let's see what are the best matches for her to use. Check the inventory, move it to a better location, let everyone know that it has a huge potential. She sees more tasks and messages like the VM guidelines for the store. She can see the illustrative image. She can upload the picture when it's done. And she can even mark the items she just used on the power table to help Story track and monitor the execution, if it worked well or not, and of course suggest. And she's one click away from any knowledge she needs. At the same time, her district manager, sorry about that. At the same time, her district manager can write anything she wants to her team. She can link it to a task, she can create a task, she can upload an image. She can always see who got her message, who didn't. And if someone didn't see it, she can just ping them back. And of course, she can lay back and relax, while Story is pushing everyone to complete their tasks. Story will let her know when it's the right time for her to check it all, and she will see all her stores in real time. She can get the store compliance from the platform. She can see it by herself, the status of the completion of the stores, of the tasks. And of course, she can also get any relevant data about the store she's about to visit. So what's your benefit from it? Streamline your operations to reduce your operating expenses. Deal smartly with your data and increase your turnover. Maximize your margins and get everyone under one umbrella to share best practices and inspire your staff to achieve more. And this is only some of the KPIs you can achieve. So we are already active. We have more than 2,000 users. We are generating more than 200,000 product insights every week. And those are only part of our local and international customers. Our business model, all the communication part is for free. Just stop managing your stores using WhatsApp or email. But if you want our platform to function like a dozen of district managers, you can get the standard with the integration to your data and the insights. And together with the Pro, you have a full solution. This is our team. We are just, by the way, we just had a last win in 2020 of a big tender in Portugal. And as you already know, you should always focus on the improvement of any touch point with the customers, especially when you're dealing with the retail stores, to elevate their experience. And actually, you need to do it without only trusting on the willingness of the store managers to think and improve. We are backed by Signet Jewelers, the largest jewelry chain store in the United States, accelerators. We have great partners behind us. And I will be more than happy to keep on discussing with any of you that would like to get some more information. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Idan, about your presentation. Now we'll move on to a very interesting company that wants to give you the best experience when you shop online. So Richard from Shelfie, can you give us the insight and your view on things?
Thank you very much, Jonathan. It's my pleasure. Good afternoon and good day to those in Europe. Meet Shelfie, the white label native app that combines mobile commerce with digital marketing at the point of sale. We're more than just an app. We're a platform as a service that converts. And by the time I finish my presentation, there'll be 100 more orders on an app that is powered by Shelfie. If we look at the impact, as we just discussed in the lecture prior by Massimo, we see that e-commerce has spearheaded 5 light years ahead. And if we look at different countries like the UK, Italy, and Germany, we see that there are huge increases in e-commerce. And I'll just share with you a little story. We were recently contacted about a month and a half ago by a retailer who utilized a local simple app. And then they were utilizing WhatsApp to have the shoppers send in their orders. And it was a catastrophe. And they were better known for their customer service. They immediately turned to Shelfie and they asked if we could get them up and running with a native app within 1 month. We rose to that challenge. And today I'm happy to say that now we're working on a scan and go implementation. If we look at the current mobile conversion, there's over 70% traffic on e-commerce is mobile, but only 1.9% is converting, as opposed to 4.1 on desktop. That's 2 times worse. So if we want to tackle this situation, let's take a look at a 20-year-old problem. We see Amazon has the same look and feel with many products and a lot of descriptions as they had on their website 20 years ago. And because it was Amazon, people felt the need to follow. And it's very confusing. It affects the path to purchase. And that's where Shelfie comes in. We have a single product interface. We have a smart shelf with an endless carousel. So we can focus on one product at a time, and it benefits everyone. It allows the brands to influence the shopper, as I mentioned, when they're trying to make their decision. It allows the retailers to get higher conversions and less abandoned carts. And it allows the shopper to have an amazing UI UX and an amazing experience within their shopping journey. If we look at the old concept, we see wireframes, many different wireframes squeezed into one page of the shelf. Here we have one product at a time. I'm able to do voice search, text search, and even scan the product either at store level or from my pantry. I can have upsells and cross-sells, all those great things that we've seen at brick and mortar and were lost during the digital transformation. We have the holy grail, the shoppable video. I can link products and brands to be promoted while I'm watching a recipe video on what I want to have for dinner tonight. And then I can order all the products and have it in the next 2 hours. Or I can watch a how-to video to see what are the latest hair products. And what we're doing, as I mentioned, is we're presenting a complete platform as a service. And that requires us to have digital marketing. So we're presenting a new stream of revenue via digital media. We're allowing brands to influence, as I mentioned, via a sponsored spot. So whenever I have put in diapers, I can have Huggies promote their brand. Whenever I'm showing pizza, I can have a brand message for Coke for an upsell. And then, as I mentioned, I also have the different videos where I can link the products. I can, the number one avenue of the Retail Media Suite is that I'm collecting unprecedented data and I can personalize. Everyone's experience will be unique and different. Just like we have an amazing front end, we have an amazing back end. We have the shoppable video studio where I can link the products. I have campaign management, and I have an analytics dashboard where I can see all the latest products that were purchased, how many users are online at a given time. And I want to stress that this is a headless commerce. We're able to integrate into third-party platforms such as loyalty, personalization like dunnhumby, and business intelligence as well, like Tabula. We have a dynamic homepage that's customizable. You don't need a developer. The marketing team could create new banners, and loyalty customers could be promoted with new and coupons for this upcoming holiday. We have a white paper from Kruidvat where Roland Vandenberg, who's the e-commerce director of the largest health and beauty in Holland, part of the A.S. Watson Group, which we have a corporate agreement with, which is the largest in the world. They're seeing higher conversions on mobile than any other digital channel. If we look at the industry standards that we spoke about, 1.8.4%, we're already far exceeding even the desktop of industry standards of 4.909. We went from 150,000 loyalty members to over 1 million users within a short period of time. And also the time for purchase, the frequency has decreased as well. So people are ordering more often. So we have higher repeat monthly purchases at KPI, 60% increase in customer retention, 17% lift in sales lift on all sales channels. If we look at what's in the pipeline on the roadmap, we listened to our customers and we created that same look and feel for synergies. It's omni-channel, but now we're able to implement as a slave our smart shelf and our shoppable videos. So I'm very happy to engage with you, and to give you a live demo, please sign up for some meetings with me. And I'm looking forward to talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard. It was very interesting. Now we're going to go forward to Lee from C-Value. And she is going to deal with something that Massimo was talking about, to bring these two worlds together, to bring together the experience of the customer in the shop and the data behind to make it smarter. So the floor is yours. We cannot hear you. You are on mute, sorry.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Benny. I'm the founder and CEO of C-Value. C-Value operates in the grocery, drugstores, and specialty retailers, especially in the ones that actually are having on one hand the consumer side, millions of customers, but on the other hand as well, they have hundreds, if not thousands, of suppliers or brands. And we believe relative, in relation to what Massimo said, that the growth in that market will actually come from the close collaboration between the retailers and the suppliers in that market. And we build a collaboration platform that enable the suppliers and the retailer to join forces based on data, in order to focus on the customer and to grow the customer, which is actually the basic interest of both. As you can see on the slide, we already have top tier retailers on the platform, dozens, hundreds actually of suppliers or brands on the platform, and more than 50 million customers that we actually track their purchases day after day and build in insights that the retailers share with the suppliers, and together they understand the customer needs and they jointly address those needs with with a highly relevant products and offers. We are the first fully automated solution in that domain, and for that, for our innovation and being the first to market, we got Gartner recognition to be a cool vendor. Nielsen is investor in us. Microsoft evaluated about 300 companies, selected us to be one of the 10 to be part of their strategic co-sell partners. So the idea is that the data is the basis for the collaboration between the retailers and suppliers. Retailers for years are accumulating tons of data records, and it's just about the time to make use of it, not only for internal decision-making, but also to share the insights with the brands in order to increase the pie for both, for the retailers and the brands, in order to address the ever-evolving customer needs. So for the retailers, it's a monetization opportunity, but more importantly, it's also an opportunity for them to grow their business through working together with the supplier and jointly focusing on the customer. Now, in order to allow them to do just this, our AI analyzes the customer behavior, and this is really a big data in the industry that we are working in. Customers are coming, take for example, groceries. They are coming every week, buying dozens of products, and every product carries unique characteristics that tell something about the customer needs. And then we analyze this on a daily basis, and for each and every customer, and we are a customer-centric company, we understand what is the customer is buying, what will bring the customer into the store, what are the customer is not buying and he should buy based on his similarity to other customers that are buying this product, what product or brands the customer is now, he is actually decreasing the purchase so that we can win back that customer for that specific product, categories, or a brand, and what are the products and categories that the customer is buying, but there is still room to stretch the purchase behavior of this customer. So this is really understanding the needs of the customer, understanding the purchase pattern of the customer, and then based on that, we generate reports for both the retailer and the supplier, so the retailer can share them with the suppliers around all interesting decisioning points. Like for example, the new product launch that you see on the bottom right. So this is like, let's say for example, that the brands come with a new innovation. With these reports or insight, we actually we provide a predictive sales indicator, so both the retailer and supplier can understand the adoption rate of that product. So for the retailer, it's important to understand whether they want to keep or even extend the shelf space for it, and for the manufacturer, it's important to understand how to fine tune the production machines for that specific product. And I can go on and on, but this is exactly how the retailers and the suppliers can make their decisioning around assortment, be a customer-centric and better serve the customer needs. Then we enable both of them to be customer-centric. Instead of thinking, okay, now I had a product and who are the customers that I need to push that product to say, okay, now I have a customer, what are the products and the offers that I need to make for this specific customer in order to grow okay, the customer business with me? So this is a question that we answer in the context of the retailer, but we also answer that in the context of each and every specific supplier. And when accumulating that, we actually create a customer-centric collaborative environment that grows the business for both of them. And now, if I want to illustrate that, how it works in the area of the e-commerce, of course, it is important for me to mention that we are addressing the omni-channel customer, okay? For us, the customer is buying in the store and buying in the on the e-commerce. Now it's growing in our industry to 20% on the e-commerce, but still the customer is omni-channel. So everything that we analyze is actually on regardless of the specific channel that the customer is purchasing. In that illustration, I'm just suggesting an in-context personalization that is driven by both the supplier and the retailer. So the customer can get offers even before signing into the e-commerce, okay? And those offers are actually nominated by the brands and approved by the retailer. And then we can even take the existing circular or leaflet and personalize the presentation of it. So customers do not need anymore to flip dozens of pages just to recognize the promotions that are relevant for them. In personalized digital shelf, we know that the customer is focusing on the first page when he goes to the category. And it doesn't make sense for him to scroll down and down in order to identify the product that he needs. So we personalize the first page. So the products that are very relevant to the customer will pop up at the beginning of the page. This is huge, has a huge impact on the sales uplift. Alternative product, a big question now. In the situation when you have out of stock. So we analyze customers in groceries, drugstores, and so on over years of purchases. And we have a science to understand what is the real alternative for a product when a product is out of stock. And personalized shopping list. I mean, the shopping list today usually go after what you bought in the past and simply suggesting you to buy to replicate your last order. With the AI that we have, we can really anticipate what do you need to buy now based on the product that you bought in the past and the replenishment cycle for that. And therefore, we can not only suggest what to buy now, but if you will go up and we can ask whether you, did you forget something? So this is how what's behind the scene is suppliers and retailers collaborating around the customer, suggesting offer to address the customer based on C-Value insight and collaboration platform. And then C-Value will actually kind of present that offers to the customer in the context of the purchase. It could be it in the store, or be it when the customer is going in the mobile with its mobile, or be it in the e-commerce scenario. Coming back to the first slide, as I said, C-Value has first-tier retailers from all over the global retailers that are using C-Value either to share insights with the brands or to enable the brands to nominate and offers that then will be personalized by C-Value, or both. And I would love to meet with you if such a collaboration platform seems to be very relevant to your future.
Thank you very much, Benny. Now we're going to our last company for today. As I told you, we have many more waiting for you in our offices that can connect you, and in the event that we're just having in a short while. But we are going on to Shai. Shai is coming from Curve Tech. And it's another company that uses data to basically make the whole operation more efficient. So give us your speech.
Great, thank you, Jonathan. So let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, great. So, hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Shai from Curve, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to leverage machine learning for prediction use cases that will actually gonna make a business impact on your business. So our mission is in life is not just to analyze what actually happened, but to look forward and try to forecast what's going to happen in your business, in your store. And let me talk to you a little bit about that. So first of all, just as very quickly a background on what AI and machine learning, because there's a lot of buzz around it, and we love it. I mean, that's our mission. And AI is a system that's able to perform tasks that would usually require some human intelligence. And machine learning is harvesting the power of machines to do these kind of stuff. So there's a notion of machine learning that it's the machine learns from the past and builds a model for the future. And we all know that computers today kind of exceeds the capacity of our human brain as far as memorizing data, understanding and performing mathematical tasks. And that's where we see a huge value in using machine learning for forecasting. So the ability to ingest a broad range of data, your historical data and external data that you have, update it constantly, keeps on learning, correlating between, so for the example of a store with products, so not just looking on the behavior of an individual product, but also how does it correlate to other products, other categories, the trend, the cannibalization, kind of the halo effect. So that machine learning has the ability to take all of that in mind together when analyzing the behavior and then giving a forecast for the future. So it's quite clear that forecasting plus machine learning, I mean, why not? And surprisingly, what we see, and I don't see your faces now in the audience, but I'm sure very few of you are actually using this today when you're doing your forecasts, right? Answering some questions that I'm gonna cover soon. And one of the reasons is, and we don't have time, but there's like tons of reports and analyses and Gartner reports and IDC reports, but let me give you to it in summary. The summary is there's, in order to actually do it and have a real effective, I would say machine learning project, you need some skills. You need maths and statistics skills, you need programming skills, and you need to understand the business. I mean, it's just not developing models. You want to make a business impact. And right in the middle, there's today a role called a data scientist. And usually they are a bottleneck. I'm not going to get into a lot of details. The ones who knows it already knows it, but data science projects, actually harvesting the power, are long and expensive. And we offer a solution here. And I think what we are saying and the concept of our business, you don't need to be a mathematician or to be a data scientist or hold a data scientist. We're going to give you this as a service so you can focus on your business expertise. So we're providing business solutions powered by machine learning as a service. I mean, we have a team of a dozen genius data scientists here who are actually, that's their business. They develop models, they understand how to digest, how to cleanse the data, and streamline this project. And we have an automatic process of doing it. We come to you, we help you tailor this service to your business. And then we track it. Another common thing that happens, it's not just that you take a machine learning model, you put it and it works forever. There's always drifting and things change. So we make sure we actually check that every month the machine keeps on learning. You have the right model that actually is suited for the kind of question we want to answer. So you keep on having an effective result and achieve your KPIs. So that's basically what we do. The way we do it is we have a set of proprietary machine learning prediction modeling, as I said, that our data science team develop, that are in a sense unbiased. So we don't know your business. We don't have the understanding of your business, but that's our advantage. I mean, we're not biased. We look on the data. We find what's happening in the data, the behaviors, the trends, the patterns, seasonality, and we provide a data-based mathematical prediction, which is usually more accurate than what we see, right? Than what usually our clients usually have. So not just your intuition, not just an Excel sheet of looking on the individual product, but looking the entire data that you have and giving you the most accurate data based on your already existing data, right? So that's our challenge, right? We're going to get the gold out of what you have, and we're going to give it to you in a way that's going to be easy to use, that you don't have to be a data scientist or an IT person to work with. So for business users. In a sketch, just to give you a little bit more detail. So we look on your internal historical data. We can plug into your ERPs, CRMs, e-com platform, wherever you want. And we also feed in external data. So we will take your historical sales data, product catalog, marketing activities, pricing change, new releases, customer payments, lead behavior, and also we can take weather, special days, holidays, and etc. We plug it on into our engine, which will then digest, clean, cluster the data, look at it from one way, from a product point of view, from a client point of view, from a channel point of view, physical store, online, and then pick the right algorithm that fits each segment of the data, and then deliver the results to you. And basically the brain here, that's our secret sauce, right? The kind of offering that we do today, the use cases we forecast are around sales prediction. Sales prediction for both for salesperson, but then for inventory optimization, for planning, avoid being out of stock and overstock, having the right inventory at the right place. Lead scoring, and that could be leads and also opportunities scoring. Payment risk mitigation, so all your invoices, will they be paid on time, which are going to be delayed, right? That's a nice thing to know. So are any of your clients going to go into credit block because in a month from now, and can you react today? And returns prediction that Massimo also mentioned is one of the biggest trends, right? You need to have same day delivery. So you don't just want to keep the right inventory, the right place to avoid being out of stock, but also to know that you can deliver. And in return, you want to predict returns because returns are a big part of your business. So it's nice to know which of the current orders or products are going to be returned, both for inventory and for maybe shipping price changes in real time. And as I mentioned, I mean, we want to give you the ability to plan based on your data with a more accurate prediction in mind, not just what happened, but what's going to happen. Take data-driven decisions that's going to make a business impact. We're not into nice to know questions. It's really what's going to make a difference to your business. What question, what percent of improvement would mean a lot to your business? I can give you some expected results. So in sales predictions, we see up to 20% improvement in accuracy. We usually go and benchmark. So for example, we need at least 2 years of history of historical data just to capture the seasonality rather than a trend. And we benchmark ourselves against what actually happened, right? We train and test ourselves against the past, so we already know, but we also like to know what's your current accuracy today, so we can see what the improvement is. And then from that, see what's the actual business impact, what does it mean to you? But we see up to 20% improvement in accuracy, in lead scoring, both in conversion, and it's also in lead scoring and opportunity scoring. And I can later on, if we're going to have a meeting together, then I can share some use cases. But just by looking at the opportunities, which one is going to be closed, which one is going to be lost, and which one is going to be delayed. If it's closed, is it on time or in delay? You can actually convert more leads, but also react in terms of inventory and planning. So we feed that back. So we take the transaction data, but also the opportunities data that can come from your Salesforce or whatever CRM system that you use. And then inventory optimization, we reduce basically the overstock with the pressure of delivery, not losing sales. There's a lot of overstock. So our goal is to reduce the overstock, but not hurting your SLA. So without getting into out of stocks, and also reducing the out of stocks. So for every product, we analyze what's the number of overstock and understock. We take into account safety stock and lead time per product in that analysis. Returns prediction, decrease returns, or at least be ready to what's going to be returned. If it's still functional, it's going to back into your stock or not. And payment risk mitigation that I've mentioned before, which of the payments are going to be paid on time. One of our clients, for example, is saved $10 million just by understanding which of its clients is going to round into credit block. And then it's a whole manual process. They cannot purchase, and so just knowing a week in advance which one is near their credit and handling it before it happens had a big impact on their business. I thought of stopping here. The ones that would like to have a call, then I can show you some of our dashboards later on and how it works, inventory, out of stock, overstock, and some business insights. But I'm not going to get to it at this point because we're running out of time, and I'm the last one keeping you probably from lunch. So that's not. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to stop here. Here's my mail, and we're also happy to have a meeting with you and discuss. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Shai. I think we had here, we saw the problem. I think Massimo, at least I highlighted the problem. I think Massimo told us how we can solve or how there are opportunities and the trends that are going. And we had the pleasure of really 4 of the best companies in Israel that are dealing in this area. So as each one of them said, you can meet them. You will have in the slide just after I finish, there will be a slide and you can connect to the event itself and you schedule yourself a meeting with them. I'm reminding you that what's more important is that we can, and each one of you can get a personalized service, meaning after you've been to the event, there's still another around 500 Israeli companies dealing in this area. So they all have the solutions, they all have interesting insight. As you see, everyone looks at it in a different angle, but everyone is addressing this issue. So I think it could be a very good work. You were all referred by our offices, so you know the relevant offices, but if not, of course, you can contact us and we can make the connection. Again, thanks for all the speakers, and I hope that you'll have a good event, and we are committed to make it happen, to the Israeli companies to find their partners here in Europe, and for our clients in Europe to find the right companies in Israel. So I hope you have a good event. Thank you all for participating today. And let's hope, it's the new Jewish year is coming around the corner. So Happy New Year, and hope everything goes well. Thank you very much for joining us today. Goodbye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, bye-bye.